So I'm just going to bring up our next performer, Eugene Hwang. Graduated with an MFA in Creative Writing from the New School University in 2007. And speaking of mysterious muggings, this year he's already lost an umbrella, a left glove, and a post-it with Omar's phone number on it. So if anyone has those things, he'd like you to email him at hwangeugene@gmail.com.
Hello. So I'm going to be reading this scene that I recently wrote for a novel that I've been working on for a long time now. It's the first scene that I've written in maybe like 3 or 4 years. It's just the way I work. And I guess some things that might be helpful to know about the story before I read. The main character, his name is Jisoo, and he's a freshman in college. He and Catherine have just recently fallen in love, and they're so deeply in love that they've been at Catherine's apartment for a few days and haven't been able to leave each other until Catherine's little sister shows up. She's 14, her name is Cassandra. She's a little bit of a bully. She goes around kicking people's shins and things like that. So this is the scene after he gets kicked out of the apartment by Cassandra. Jisoo forgot the existence of pretty much everything that wasn't Catherine, including his own legs, which delivered him to the only destination they could unsupervised. And so, more than a conscious decision, Jisoo's arrival into his room was a sudden discovery induced by an abrupt shortage of space. The circles he rerouted himself into weren't as calming as the path varieties offered outside. He could have just gone back out, but simple solutions eluded him at the moment. Jisoo attempted to resolve being enclosed by walking faster, eventually reaching such feverish speeds one might have thought he was evading a swarm of ferocious hornets. The shape he walked in went from circular to elliptical to linear, as if he could no longer concern himself with more than one dimension. He now paced back and forth in front of the phone. Finally, he picked it up and dialed. Cassandra answered. "This better not be Jisoo," she said. "It's Jisoo," Jisoo said, after a pause in which he failed to come up with anything to say other than what he was supposed to have avoided saying. Cassandra hung up. Jisoo dialed again. "This better not be Jisoo," Cassandra said. "Cassandra, please," Jisoo said. Cassandra hung up. Jisoo dialed again. "I'm going to keep calling, so you might as well let me talk to her," Jisoo blurted out before Cassandra could say a word. "Fine. You have 1 minute," Cassandra said, and before Jisoo could bargain for more time, Catherine was on the phone. "Jisoo," he heard her say. The resulting bliss interfered with his breathing. "Jisoo, are you there?" "Yes. Sorry, I was just... Could you keep talking so I can listen to your voice?" "It seems unlikely any meaningful conversation can occur in the little time we have here anyway." "But that would mean I wouldn't be able to hear your voice, and I want to hear your voice just as badly as you want to hear mine," Catherine said. "Then how about we take turns saying the very first thing that pops into our heads, even if it's nonsense, so that no time is wasted and we can hear each other's voices as much as possible," Jisoo said. "We should repeat the verses of a popular song or nursery rhyme. With the words already prepared, we would virtually eliminate all thinking and possibility of pauses," Catherine said. "What a fantastic idea," Jisoo said. "Do you know Miss Mary Mack?" Catherine asked. "Yes, I think so," Jisoo said. Just say any kind of gibberish to the rhythm of Miss Mary Mack if you can't think of the words." "I'll start." "Miss Mary Mack, Mack, Mack," Catherine said. "All dressed in black, black, black," Jisoo said. "With silver buttons, buttons, buttons," Catherine said. "All down her back, back, back," Jisoo said. She asked her mother, Captain said. For 50 cents, Jisoo said. Time's up, Cassandra said, and hung up. Jisoo resumed his pacing and soon picked up the phone again. Ben, it's Jisoo. I'm coming over. I thought you were dead, Ben said, as soon as he opened the door for Jisoo. I honestly thought you were dead. And that might be an overly dramatic thing to say if you disappeared for 2 or 3 days, but it's been 5 days. Yesterday morning, I thought, oh, still no sign of Jisoo. As a rational, thinking human being, I can now safely assume he's been abducted and murdered. I even contacted campus security. I thought the next time I saw you, you'd be in a casket. So you better have a superb explanation for all this. It better not be something dumb like, oh, I just needed to be alone for a while to think about where I'm going in life. Do you know what it's like to utterly be convinced your friend is dead? I can't believe. I'm in love, Jisoo said, popping out of the chair he made his way onto to receive Ben's scolding. I'm in love. Oh, Ben said. That's why you disappeared for 5 days? And if my nose doesn't deceive me, haven't showered in about as much time? Yes, Jisoo said. I was at her place this whole time. We were so captivated by each other, even maintaining personal hygiene became an unbearable distraction. Well, that's wonderful. A little gross, but mostly wonderful. I'm happy for you. But did something go wrong? You don't look so good. Does she no longer feel the same way about you? I doubt if that were the case, I'd be in any less pain, Jisoo said. So to get this straight, you love her, she loves you, and you're miserable. Precisely. I'm confused. I came here hoping to gain clarity, but instead I've spread confusion, Jisoo said. Well, tell me what happened, Ben said. We talked from morning until dawn. We heard the chirping of birds. We made love. Everything was as beautiful and harmonious as the universe must be viewed through Einstein's eyes. But as soon as we tried going our separate ways, I suffered a horrible pain and wasn't able to leave her. For the next 4 days, I stared at her in a way that would have undoubtedly struck an outside observer as creepy. I stared and stared and stared until it seemed I could see her so precisely, that I could detect that she was constantly changing, that she was never the same Catherine 2 moments in a row. I tried imbibing with my eyes every new version of her that emerged, but there was just too much of her to behold, or perhaps I should say too many of her. And now that I'm away from her, I'm horrified by the thought of the infinite Catherines I'll never get to witness. Holy cow, Ben said. You're not high on drugs right now, are you? No, why? So you haven't done any cocaine? No. I didn't think you would, but you do sound like you're on something. In any case, I think you're lucky to have met someone you have such strong feelings towards. Oh, Ben, you don't know what you're saying. If you ever fall in love, run away. Although I doubt running away would have helped me, or if I would have even been capable of doing so, Jisoo said. I think you just need to let some time pass, let the love age a little and lose some of its intensity, Ben said. But what if it doesn't? What if it just keeps raging on and on? It won't. But how can I know that? But how can you know that? You're right. I can't know that, Ben said. Maybe you're one of those incredibly rare freak cases only a handful of doctors and psychologists know about. Maybe you'll stay so sick in love you'll become emaciated and lose your hair and teeth. But I really doubt it. At some point, you'll annoy each other. You'll get bored. If we were to compile a list of everything that can go wrong with a relationship, we'd end up with a compendium so hefty you'd stop worrying about whether the intensity of your feelings will ever subside and start worrying about how your love can ever manage to survive the innumerable diverse threats that will assail it. Jesus, Jisoo said. Look, Ben said. None of this is to say that you won't stay in love for a very long time. Just that you shouldn't extrapolate the first 5 days of this relationship and think that's what it's going to look like for the next 100. You're right. You're totally right. But what do I do in the meantime? Is there anything that can make this passion not so agonizing? Jisoo said. Pot, Ben said, with a shrug. Thank you.